Do, 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 do. That's not what I wanted. I want to go here. I want to go here. Pop that out. Pop out the chat. Do that. And oh gosh, my camera is not activated. Ha! Or plugged in or set up or anything like that, because I am one of the silliest geese. I need to put it on the robot. Here we go. Cambot is activated, and here I am. I am Rob, that developer dad. It is Thursday, September 5th. And the day keeps, or the year keeps marching on, but so does the progress on this application. So I'm going to load it up, and I'm going to bring up my screen share. And for people that come in and join midstream, I'll put that up in there and pin it just to the top of the chat roll so we've got it. And so I think it's time to start putting some information on our screens about our user. Now we've got it over here in the menu, right here. But, yes, I know, it's not. The database went to sleep. I think, so here's our task view. No, this is the feature view. Isn't it? I'm trying to remember how it's all laid out. Okay, yes. So manage NPCs. There's that. And let's come out one step further to main layout. So I've got my header, it lives in the sidebar. And I should probably take a look at the sidebar CSS. Page main, sidebar, top row. All right, we can mess with this. But I'm thinking I want to put yeah. NPC list footer will go here. Which app should own the user information? And what information do we want to track? or which level of this application should own the user information? I feel like our NPC count, both in terms of how many are viewable on screen and the paging and so on, as well as the quota, will go down into the NPC list footer. Yeah. And then at least as far as the character count quota. So I'm using the word quota here quite a bit, and I'm going to be, because even the paid users, I need to make sure that each paid user isn't costing me in terms of character storage and AI token consumption. I got to make sure each user isn't costing me more than they are paying me. And that's not just because I'm a greedy, profiteering jerk. It's because if they cost me more than they're paying me, I have to make up the difference out of pocket. And the goal for this is ultimately to have it not cost, well, my minimal requirement is that once this thing goes live, it doesn't cost me anything to host it. Ultimately, I can keep adding features and gaining subscribers and stuff like that, and then I can stop looking to work for other people. But for now, I'm going to be happy with the incoming revenue paying for what it costs to actually run and host this application. So I do need to impose some maximum usage for it. So we are going to need some sort of state. And I don't necessarily want to store this usage data for each user in their in their identity. I want to keep the identity just for who are you and what do you have access to. I think the usage stuff is another facet that needs to be handled differently. Because users will have some sort of usage limits and have consumption of those limits. Excuse me. So I guess the place to put it for now is going to be in the create NPC page model. And we want to implement that as a has-a, not a is-a. So what do we do? First thing we need to do is NPC page model. No. No. User services, NPC user options, service proxy. I really need to reorganize this a little bit too. Ugh, this is going to get ugly. And this is sort of a feature extension type thing. All right, we're going to shift gears. No, we're not. No. I'll incorporate the structure for this usage stuff now. All right, add. Well, I'm totally going about this the wrong way. So I don't need the launchpad, I need the finder. Let's go to code, GM tools, docs, images, and let's open this up. All right, so, excuse me. So rule set access and rule sets, that's not tied to an external resource because those are hard-coded for now. We need to add another resource, and it's going to be game tools dot usage. Yeah, I feel like that's going to be it. Okay. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. And that means it's time to expand our diagram a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You guys are going to take a little slide to the left. Okay. You and you. Copy, paste, pull you all over here. And then we're going to shrink you. And what is a good name for this concept? User quota. No. Usage meters. And we're going to store this stuff in SQL Server. Usage meters. Now, what does usage meters do? I'm going to pull this over here. And we're going to add new resource access components. User access is just for identity and authorization. So that's cool. I'm actually going to text Mrs. real quick. She hasn't left on her road trip with her her birthday road trip with one of our friends. I'm not going because I'm going to stay here and work. But Oh, yeah. Um, I was just texting you to see if you could please, pretty please set me up a coffee pod because I got started without brewing because I'm a silly head. All right, the CSS can go bye-bye. And I need to add usage meters. So we are going to add a new project. And yep, we are back to oops, all class libraries. Either either a French roast or a maple kind would be fine too. Okay, I like the maple kind. She brought back from Aldi Run a week and a half ago this little box of this like maple pecan pie coffee pods, and oh holy night, they are delicious. So game tools dot yeah, oh absolutely, usage meter access. Did I call it usage meter access or just meter access? Usage meters. I like usage meter access much, much better. And I don't want it to go directly into the source. I want it to go into the resource access folder group for this stuff. And we're going to say next. And we're not using top level statements. We're not going to do a native AOT publish. All right. So usage meter access, this program.cs, whatever. Add new folder, storage models. No, resource models. And then I'm going to turn this program CS. I don't know why it did it as program CS. What kind of project is this? Properties. This better just be a class library. Output type console application. Absolutely not. Did I fat finger that? We're going to remove that. Remove? Yep. Goodbye. No, don't save. And I got to drop out to the solution folder in the file exploder and go into resource access and delete usage meter access. Delete. Now I want to talk about the naming here, and these under the school of architectural thought that I came up under say that I should go product.concept resource access .volatility, and that is like NPC access, rule set access, user access, etc. But I've actually run into situations in the past where the path name gets way too long, and Visual Studio kind of freaks out about it, as well as other file system operations and so on. So what I've done is I've created a solution folder, and I'm mimicking that in the file system, and all of my resource access projects go into the resource access folder. And so I feel like I can skip out on some of the naming there as far as the assembly naming and so on. I may live to regret that decision, but I think it's perfectly valid for what I'm trying to do. So game tools dot metered usage access. I like that better. Metered usage. And of course, I need to put it in the resource access folder. Select the folder and hit next. Long-term support, create. Here we go. Now I can create that sub namespace. Add folder, and I'm going to call it resource models because that's what they are. And class, we're going to rename it to I usage meter access. Boom. And say yes. And turn it into an interface. Now, before we do any coding or anything like that, I am going to describe what this is and why. Because storage and language model access in the cloud are neither free nor technically nor cheap enough to count as cost of goods sold. We need to monitor and limit the usage of those resources. Usage by our subscribers of these resources. So, what are the things that we need to do when monitoring use of, the resources in our system? We need to, and we're going to do all of these as async. I have no idea what I just updated over in Draw.io. There we go. So all of these are going to be async. So I'm going to declare all of them as task. I'm not sure of what yet. Task consume quota. I'm not sure what the parameters or return types are going to be yet, so we're just going to leave those blank. But consume quota updates the consumed quota for a specific user resource and time period. Okay. We're also going to need task load user quotas. And that is going to take in, I'm not sure yet. To quote the great Onyx the Fortuitous, I don't know. Some friends of ours told us about Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls. It's a cheesy, silly, funny movie. I think it's on Amazon Prime right now. But years ago, there was this guy on the internet. I'm going to get my coffee. There's this fella on the internet who had created this character who would show up at like metal concerts and all kinds of other crazy goings on. And he'd give these like completely bonkers points of view on whatever he was attending. And he'd always find some reporter or media personality who was covering whatever event it was. And he'd just like go off on this crazy, unhinged, ridiculous word salad spew and punctuate almost every statement he'd make with, I don't know. So he became known as Onyx the Fortuitous. He and his friends got together and made a movie a few years ago, and it was Mystery Science Theater 3000 worthy, but in a good way. It was a lot of fun to watch. If you're into cheesy quasi supernatural horror, but comedy, like perhaps even more ridiculous than Army of Darkness, 5 stars do recommend. It is so silly. So back to this. Load user quotas. Loads the usage quotas for a particular user. Now we've got quotas. And we've got consumed quota for a specific user, resource, etc. So that's kind of hinting that we have a resource quota. And this needs to be public because it's going to be exchanged with external things. And add, we'll say a class, but resource quota kinds. And it's going to be a public enum, not a class, kind, and I'm going to say character storage and AI NPC generation. Okay. So these are the two resources that we want to control, or that we want to kind of portion out to my users. And I don't feel bad using an enum for this because this is not going to change very often. Yeah. Do I want to be that specific? And this isn't a we can be this specific for now. This is a what we're really trying to control is AI token consumption and database storage. So I'm just going to go to storage and AI token. Because NPC generation might only consume maybe 1,000 tokens in total. Tavern generation could consume a lot more than that. So each operation keeping this concept will record quota usage in broad terms, but each game entity will consume a different amount of each resource, i.e. character gen, NPC generation, NPCs consume fewer AI tokens and storage than, say, a town or tavern. Thinking. Storage, AI token. Yeah, that's fine. I think I need to rename this to resource kind. In fact, I want to go all the way to metered resource kind. Yes. All right, I like that. Now, add class escape. So I've got a resource quota. Yeah, okay. So public enum, not enum, you fool, metered resource kind. Metered resource get set, and we might tidy that stuff up, and I might turn this into a record. Public int budget get set public int consumption get set. All right, so this would tell us how many AI tokens they've used, how many bytes or kilobytes or megabytes of storage they're using. But it doesn't tell us what they've used it on. All right, thinking. We're gonna move consumption out. You're gone. Public. Resource unit kind get set, and we have to declare this. Add class. What did I call it? Resource unit kind. Unit kind. Public enumeration, and it is going to be, let's say, per item, or just item. Item? Thinking. This is just sketching. I'm working on the detailed design of the metered usage access. So resource unit, we are talking about so for storage, do I want to go with bytes or kilobytes? I'm going to go with kilobytes. I don't even need this. Delete. Yeah, get lost. And over here on resource quota, this is just going to be a string. Unit. Measurement unit. And public const. No, I can't use a const. Yes, I can. String array equals string array measurement units Yeah, whatever. Bytes. AI tokens. Why doesn't it like this? Expression being assigned to resource quota measurement units must be constant. Public, read-only, string measurement units. There we go. All right. I don't love this. I do need to say LLM tokens. I feel like this is over abstraction. I really, really, really do. Yeah, I'm overgeneralizing here. All right, so NPC storage. NPC AI detail. There we go. Community resource kind, NPC storage, NPC AI detail. Good, I like it. Get rid of this measurement unit. Goodbye. Public int. Consumption. Ack. Silly Ed. Get set. All right. Let's get rid of that nonsense. Now, the downside to doing what I'm doing here and making it more fine-grained and specific is that as I add things, I'm going to have to expand this enum. But that's okay because this enum can change as I add features and things that can be stored and generated and so on. So I don't have to worry about code drift as much because this concept is going to evolve at the same or as new feature sets are added to the application. It's never going to change independently of those feature sets. So resource quota, consumption. This needs to turn into, rename, user resource quota. No, just resource quota. Add, new class, user quota. Here we go. Add, public, Control S, prop, string, user ID, prop, resource quota, storage, prop resource quota AI generations. There we go. Save. ctor user ID equals string dot empty. Storage equals new resource quota. AI generations equals new resource quota. Save. User ID storage AI generations. Cool. Let's come in here and add a constructor. No. Oh, come on, Rob. Get rid of that. And yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly valid right out the gate. So metered resource kind, I can toss that. I don't need it open anymore. We can close these UI pages. And all of this stuff. Wow, I had a lot of tabs open. Okay, so user quota, resource quota, usage meter access. Now, some quotas have a renewal date and some do not. Storage just is an upper limit. Your bucket is this big, it can hold this much, this is your bucket. I have no plans to add the ability to let people pay more per month for a bigger bucket yet. The tokens, on the other hand, each month you get X number of AI generations that you can use. And the simplest form of this is next month, and it's use it or lose it. Next month, you get 100 new tokens to use that month. I'll probably build in some sort of rollover, any unused tokens up to a certain percentage of your total monthly budget. So like if you get 100 tokens a month and you only use 25 of them, then you can roll over up to half of the unused tokens from one month to the next, up to a maximum number of unused tokens, or up to a maximum number of allowable tokens. But that's a really complex structure. Right now, I'm just going to go flat. You get this many a month, use them or lose them. So the AI stuff, those quotas reset every month. Excuse me. But the storage one doesn't. So how do we handle that? or how will we present that to end users? We'll iterate on these concepts later. Let's get back to defining the things that this needs to do, because I'm sure more of those details will reveal themselves as I define load user quotas, loads the usage quotas for a particular, spell it right, user. Hey, what's up, C-Films? Doing okay, man. How about yourself? User quota. And it's not going to be a user quota that we return. It is going to be, I need to add a project ref. And I need to bring in devdad.framework. Okay, and it's going to be an op result. And we'll fix the anger code, and there we go. Consume quota. I think I will return an op result of user quota. And I'll just return the whole shebang. There we go. I am neither currently sad, mad, or glad. Usage meter access, load user quotas, consume quota. Task op result. Update quota. I'm not in love with the name for that method, because the purpose of this is I'm going to say admin update quota. And I should drop the async tag on all of these. Load user quotas, async. Change this to a singular. I am not working on a part of the UI right now. I am working on designing how the back end system components are going to manage resources that I need to limit use of on a per user basis. So this will eventually come out in the UI as information at the bottom of, say, the user lists, my account page, stuff like that. So task op result, admin update quota async creates a new monthly. All right, love, have a good trip. Yeah, okay. Creates a new periodic quota for a specified. That information will be coming from a database, at least in terms of the quota. Okay, creates a new periodic quota record for the specified user and calendar block. And it just returns a regular op result. Admin update quota async. Use this to reset the AI consumption quotas for a user when the monthly subscription is paid. Use this when a new character is generated or saved. Task op result user quota release quota updates a specific quota for user plus resource when an instance of that resource is released. Don't use this for AI consumption. Can't put the cookie back in the jar after you've swallowed it. Well, you can, but it'd be gross. But if an NPC is deleted, that will release a storage consumption. Unit. Save. All right. Generated or saved. Release quota. And I'm not sure what these request things are going to look like yet. Admin update quota async. Yeah. My robot has decided to look at the messy corner of my workspace. Hey, I'm over here, robot. You. Hey, come on back. Here we go. Silly Cambot. All right. So this is going to run when somebody's monthly subscription payment happens. And what it's going to do is basically just all of the quota manipulation operations for resetting whatever kinds of quotas reset on a periodic basis. So back to this concept of periodic versus fixed quotas. So we've got a resource quota. And it's got a budget, and it's got the amount that's been consumed, and it's got the metered resource kind. And this is what comes back from or is sent into. Oh. Task, op result, no, just an op result. Create new user quota. Bam. Sets up records in the database for a new user, and the quotas, they are assigned upon creation. Free users get much more limited storage, and initially 0 AI credits. Once I've got more money coming in than it costs for the AI generations, I might give a couple of demo free AI generations. But those would not be renewing. So that says, and this is just a note to self, some resource quotas can reset on a periodic basis. Some are finite and permanent. And I am smelling either a bunch of nullable properties on this guy, or an inheritance hierarchy, which is also not great. No. A quota is a quota is a quota. Payment activities are what update the budget and the consumption. Yeah. So that says to me, this represents the current state of a user's quota consumption of a specific metered item. It doesn't represent any calendar bound or scheduled expiration, calendar bound or scheduled expiration, or change. Yeah, yeah. That calendar bound stuff is an attribute of the user's subscription. So create new user quota. That happens when somebody subscribes. Load user quota async. Oh, the robot really likes September. Hi, I'm here. Follow me. Over here. Yes. In your autumnal clothing palette and all that stuff. Yeah. She not in the current campaign, but in the last campaign that she played in, she was playing a Circle of Spores druid. And so the joke was that she was a rot witch. Her character hated that when the villains would call her a rot witch. Yep. All right. It's up records in the database for a new user, and the quotas they are assigned upon creation. Create new user quota. Good. Load user quota async. This needs to be called async. Consume quota async returns the user's quota object with the updated consumption data. Returns the user's quota object with the updated consumption data. Returns an operation result containing any errors that occurred. Save. Load user quota async, create new user quota async, returns operation result containing only errors if they occur. I just had a thought, but what I'm going to do is pop into here into the implementation, and it's almost time for me to stop for the day. Go to implementation. You silly goose. Framework. And this will be the last thing that I do today. Op result. Op result of T op result. Public bool should retry get set. Have fun. Let me know when you get there. Okay. Public int retry count get set public int retry limit get set. Now, I just typed all that stuff, and what am I going to do? I'm going to comment it out. We're going to implement that later, and I realized as I was designing the operations for these things that I do want to integrate some resilience framework into this thing. And what better place to set the signal that the caller should retry the operation than on the actual op result object when it fails. And that gives me the ability to set in the component that's performing the operation, take a look at what went wrong. And if it's a transient type thing, like the database wasn't reachable or it's what have you, is like, yeah, okay, go ahead and, we can retry this operation a maximum of 3 times. We are currently on retry count 1. And yes, go ahead. You should retry. If it's a fatal exception, like there is no way this operation will ever succeed with the data you've given me, I can send back in the op result, no, don't retry this. And then, of course, the caller can say, all right, so yeah, no, there's no sense retrying this. Fire it back up the stack. Or yes, we should retry this. Try it again. And that just gave me a whole lot of power in terms of improving the resiliency of this application. So load user quota async, that does the thing. Returns an operation result containing only errors. This returns the user's quota object. Let's come out to the end and backspace this. Control C. Control V with their current consumption data. There we go. All right. I think we've got the operations that we want to define in terms of metered usage access. And it is 2:15. And I actually have an appointment to get my car serviced at 3. So I'm going to have to fall off of here and go get ready to do that. I got a couple other errands to do on the way there and blah, 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 blah. So my time is quickly becoming my enemy, as it does. I think we're at a decent stopping point, and I'm going to let these concepts marinate in my head until tomorrow when we'll pick up where we left off right now. So until then, I wish you all a good evening. Be kind to yourselves, be kind to the people around you as best you can. And happy coding. Take care of yourselves.